Hello, Mingalaba. My name is Mingal. My name is Maithun, and my Buddha's name is Jarubali, which means keeper of beauty. Today, I will be your presenter for part 1 of this Dhamma class. Today's Dhamma class is on July 12, 2026. We meet every Sunday at 4 p.m. Arizona and Pacific times. Anyone interested in Buddhist teachings is welcome to join us on Zoom. Use the ID 413-460-4622 and the password Buddha20, all lowercase. Remember, the Zoom ID and password will stay the same every week. First, 3 individuals will chant the Buddha Gamana Gata, Diwatapadi Gata, and Surya Gata. These chants will then be followed by Part 1A, offerings, taking the Tisarana and precepts, the Metta chant, and meditation. Part 1B, Adhitthana, determination, mindfulness on death, wishing, and sharing. Part 2, Mahajaya Mangala Gata chanting, answer the questions Part 1 and 2, basic Buddhism, choose the correct one out of the given answers. Today's substitute will be Rebecca and Cynthia. So Rebecca and Cynthia, please have your prayer books and the correct pages ready and close by. Now, Mason D, could you please remind everyone about our rules and regulations?
1. If you're reading a substitution or participating in Part 1A, please try to join the Zoom meeting at least 5 minutes early. 2. Please do not eat or drink during the prayer time, as it is very disrespectful. If you're hungry, make sure to eat before joining the meeting next time. 3. Sit up straight and center yourself in front of your camera. Keep your camera on at all times, or you may be removed from the meeting. If you're not part of the Dhamma class, you're free to turn off your camera. 4. Please don't fidget or play around, as it can disturb others who are praying. The prayer session is only 15 minutes, so please be mindful and respectful. 5. For those chanting, please chant clearly and slowly, so that others can follow along. 6. We would greatly appreciate it if everyone stays respectfully until the end of the meeting.
Now, please put your hands together. We'll begin with Buddha Gamana Gata. We believe you'll do great.
Buddha Gamana Gata Angira Sasa Unaya Tata Hiseta Ramsio Wajirawa Virojanti Jinometatu Sisake Nilayo Nilatanama Pito Dadacha Lohita Dhamma Dhammacha Manjita Nikamimsu Papasara Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Bella time.
Diwatapati Gata, Diwatapati Adijo, Rati Mabadi Chandima, Sanato Katiyo Tapati, Jai Tapati Brahmano, Atta Sabha Mahoratim, Buddha Tapati Tejasa, Tadisam Tejasampanam Buddham Vandami Sadaram Etena Sajawajena Soti Mehotu Sabada Soti Tehotu Sabada Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu.
Surya Gata Namo Te Buddha Viratu Vipamutosi Sabadi Sambada Patipanosmi Tasame Saranam Bhava Tathagatam Arhantam Suryo Saranam Gato Rahu Suryam Pamunjasu Buddha Loka Nukampaka Yo Andagare Tamasi Babam Garo Wero Jano Mandali Ugadejo Marahu Gili Jara Mandalike Bajam Mamam Rahu Pamunja Suriyam Etena Sajawajena Soti Mehotu Sabada Soti Tehotu Sabada
Kanasara paditena dipena damadamsina diloka dipam sambudam pujayami tamonudam wanaganda gunopedam etam kusuma santatim pujayami munindasa siripada saroruhe Adivasetu no bante paniyam parikapitam anukampam upadaya patiganatu utamam Adivasetu no bante bojanam parikapitam anukampam upadaya patiganatu utama downtime.
Ogata, 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 Kayakan, Wasikan, Manokan, Tabadola, Katendo, Apierogo, Piopazejin, Ajonga, Batama, Dutia, Tatia, Tajane, Najane, Donjame Miao, Pia Yadana, Tia Yadana, Tanga Yadana, Yadana Tombaroko, Ayoate, Aleamia, Leso Moyue, Sheko Puzo, Umyo Masho, Gadobai Ashempia, Gadoyato, Ajo Ajao, Abeleba, Katomba, Yebye Shepa, Yandunyo Ngaba, Wipatitaya Leba, Pietanataya Ngaba Roma, Akakaten, Keno Nindi Pieyue, Metea, Potia, Nevan, Diarom Yako, Avalo E Ashempia, that one time.
Hazel, it's your turn.
Tisana Ajiwa Tamaka Sila Yajana Aham Bante Tisarnena Saha Ajiwa Tamaka Silam Tamam Yajami Anugaham Katwa Silam Je Tame Bante Titiyampi Aham Bante Tisarnena Saha Ajiwa Tamaka Silam Tamam Yajami Anugaham Katwa Silam Je Tame Bante Tatyampi aham bante tisarne nasaha ajiwa tamaka silam tamam yajami anugaham katva silam de tame bante ama bante namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa buddham saranam gacchami dhammam saranam gacchami sangham saranam gacchami dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami Tatiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Tatiyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Amapante.
Panatipada Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami Adyanadana Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami Kaimesu Michachara Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami Pisuna Vacha Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami Parusavacha Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami Sapapalapa Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami Micha Jiva Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami Amabante Bangtang.
Itipiso Bhagawa Araham Samma Sambuddha Vijayadharana Sambano Sukado Loka Vidu Anuttara Purisa Dhamma Sarati Sata Dewa Manusanam Buddha Bhagawa
Cha Dhamma Guna Swaghata Bhagavata Dhammo Sandihiko Akaliko Behipasiko Apanayiko Pajatam Veditavo Vinyuhe Supatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Ujupatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Nyayapatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Samichipatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Yadidam Chatari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Pukala Isa Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Angelikarniyo Anudaram Punyakitam Lokasa. Bow one time.
Aham awero homi abhyabajo homi anigo homi sukyatana pariharami mama matapitu acharya cha nyatimita cha sabramacharino cha awera hontu abhyabaja hontu aniga hontu sukyatana pariharantu Amakam araka dewata imasamim awase imasamim arame araka dewata awera hontu abhyabaja hontu aniga hontu sukyatana pariharantu
Sabe Sata, Sabe Pana, Sabe Bhuta, Sabe Bugala, Sabe Atabawa, Pariyapana, Saba Itio, Sabe Purisa, Sabe Arya, Sabe Anariya, Sabe Dewa, sabe manusa, sabe winipadika, awera hontu, abyapaja hontu, aniga hontu, sukiyatanam pariharantu, duka munchantu, yada lada sampatito mawigajantu, kamasaka.
Pratimaya disaya Dakinaya disaya Pachimaya disaya Uttaraya disaya Pratimaya anutisaya Dakinaya anutisaya Pachimaya anutisaya Uttaraya anutisaya Hatimaya tisaya Uparimaya tisaya
Sabe sata, sabe pana, sabe buddha, sabe bukala, sabe ata bawa pariyapana, saba itio, sabe purisa, sabe arya, sabe anarya, sabe dewa, sabe manusa, sabe winipatika, awera hontu, abyabaja hontu, aniga hontu, sukhiyatanan pariharantu, dukkha mujantu, yata lada sampatito, mawikachantu kamasaka.
Udam yawa bawagaja ado yawa awijito samanta jaka walesu ye sata patawichara abya paja niweracha nidukacha nupadawa udam yawa bawagaja ado yawa awijito Samanta Chaka Walesu Ye Sata Udake Chara Abya Paja Niwiracha Nidukacha Nupadawa Udam Yawa Bawagacha Ado Yawa Awijito Samanta Chaka Walesu Ye Sata Akase Chara Abya Paja Niweracha Nidukacha Nupadawa Sadhu 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 Valentine.
Now we will learn how to meditate by Dhamma Padi, Basin Shinta, Swayzen, and Meitun.
What is meditation? Meditation is a way to keep the mind cool and calm by concentrating on one object. There are many ways to meditate. In our Dhamma class, primarily we study Anapanasati and body scanning meditation. In Anapanasati, a natural focus is your own breath, which is always with you. If you simply keep feeling the breath as it comes in and as it goes out, the mind gets quieter and more peaceful. In body scanning meditation, you scan your whole body from head to toe, from the front and the back. The only trouble is something will always take your attention away. Maybe a noise or a pain in the knee, but often your own mind is the problem. It is so full of useless stuff, like a monkey jumping here and there. It is so hard to control. To become the master of your mind, you need some lessons, enough time, and a good place to learn how to practice. With enough practice, meditation helps to replace bad thoughts and feelings with happy ones.
Why do we meditate? By learning how to control the mind, we start to get rid of negative habits and develop good mental qualities instead. If your mind is cool, you make good decisions, you don't get confused, you make less mistakes, you don't get angry or feel afraid, and you become more confident. If your mind is calm, you become peaceful and happy, you are less worried and frustrated, you don't get stressed about work or exams, you develop compassion and kindness, and you have more harmonious relationships. If your mind is concentrated, you get less distracted by useless things, you find it easier to focus and learn, you perform better in sports and games, you make better music and art, and you'll be more trustworthy.
What is the difference between samatha and vipassana? Samatha meditation and vipassana meditation are two different types of meditation. Samatha aims at achieving deep concentration, while vipassana aims at understanding both the body and the mind. In samatha meditation, the focus is solely on one object to attain deep concentration, such as by fixing the mind on a single point. In contrast, vipassana meditation involves observing various mental and physical processes as they occur. During samatha meditation, when the mind wanders, we bring it back to the chosen object. However, in vipassana meditation, when the mind wanders, we observe it without trying to control it. Only when the distraction fades do we return our focus to the primary object. These differences in focus and approach distinguish the two types of meditation.
Guided muscle relaxation meditation. We are going to practice guided muscle relaxation meditation. Before we begin, please straighten your body, center yourself in the middle of your camera, put your hands together with the right on top of the left with your thumbs connected and place them in your lap. Then close your eyes. Step 1. When I say a group of muscles, focus on the group of muscles you hear and feel the tenseness in them. Step 2. Mentally relax those group of muscles. Step 3. Feel those muscles completely relaxed. Let's start. Your scalp muscles, all the muscles on your head are relaxed. Your forehead and eyebrows are relaxed. Your eyes, ears, nose, lips, and chin are relaxed. Your neck and shoulders are relaxed. Your arms, forearms, wrists, hands, and fingers are relaxed. Your chest and upper back are relaxed. Your abdomen and lower back are relaxed. Your hips and thighs are relaxed. Your knees and legs are relaxed. Your ankles, feet, and toes are relaxed. Now your whole body from head to toe fully relaxed.
We are going to advance to Anapanasati meditation. You are going to focus on your breath. When you breathe in, a puff of air touches the tip of your nose. Make yourself aware of the touch. When you breathe out, a slightly warmer puff of air touches the tip of your nose. Make yourself aware of the touch. We are going to practice counting technique, which with each cycle of in-breath and out-breath. You will count from 1 to 8, and do not let your mind wander. If your mind wanders out, start counting from 1 again. We are first going to practice together. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 1. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 2. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 3. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 4. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 5. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 6. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 7. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 8. Now, go back to 1 and start counting on your own. We're now done meditating.
Dukkha patacha, ni dukkha, vaya patacha, ni vaya, soka patacha, ni soka, hondu sabe bipanino.
Nahi rere na rarani samantita gurajanam arare nacha samanti asadamo sanandano.
Sapa papasa aganam kasalasa upasabada chachita pariyo dapana eta purana sasana.
Name tuam, jiwitame atuam, idame ponyam, nibanasa, pachayo hotu, imam punya pagam, sapasatanam, pajima, sadhu, 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 bhavata.
Hello, Mingalaba Dhamma class. My name is Hein Lang, and my Buddhist name is Sukha Balat, which means power of happiness. Today, I'll be your presenter for part 2 of this Dhamma class. We're now starting part 2 of the Dhamma class. Before we begin, I want to remind you how important this class is. From today's Dhamma class, we will learn valuable teachings and ideas, so please be respectful and mindful. Also, remember, no eating during this part of the class. Drinking water is allowed during this part of the class. Make sure to sit up straight and center yourself in front of your camera. Now we'll move on to program 1, chant of Mahajaya Mangala Gata by Lin Lin, Mateng, May Cindy, Rebecca and Cynthia, Sumya Pei, Tiffany, Suizan, Shintan, Miano and Wayan, and Victoria.
Mahajaya Mangalakata Bahum Sahasa Mabinimita Sayutantam Girimekalam Utitakoram Sasanamaram Danatitama Vitina Jitawa Munendo Tam Tejasa Bhavatute Jaya Mangalani
Marati Rekha Mapiyudita Sabarati Goram Banalawaka Makama Tadayakam Kanti Sudanda Vidina Chitawa Maninda Dande Jasa Pawandute Jaya Mangalani.
Nalagirim Kajawaram Atimatapudam Dawaki Jaka Masaniwa Sudarunantam Metambu Sekawidina Jitawa Munindo Tam Tejasa Bhavatu Jaya Mangalani.
Ukita kaga mabihada sudarunantam dawam diojana padanguli malawantam idb sankata mano chidawa munindo tam tejasa bhavatu te Jaya Mangalani.
Kadwana Gata Mudaram Iwa Gabiniya Jenjaya Duda Wajanam Janakaya Maje Sandena Soma Vidina Jitawa Munindo Tam Tejasa Bhavatute Jaya Mangalani.
Sajam Vihaya Ati Sajaka Vadaketum Vadabiro Pitamanam Ati Anda Bhutam Anya Padipa Jalito Jitoa Munindo Tam Tejasa Bhavatute Jaya Mangalani. Nandoba Nanda Bujadam Vivida Mahidim Budena Dera Bujagena Dhammapayanto Idu Badesa Widina Jitawa Munendo Tam Tejasa Bhavatute Jaya Mangalani.
Sugaha Diti Bujagena Sadatahatam Brahmam Visuddhi Judy Nidhi Bhakabhidanam Jnana Kadena Vidina Jitawa Munindo Tam Tejasa Bhavatu Te Jaya Mangalani.
Itapi Buddha Jaya Megala Atagata Yowa Jatro Dina Dine Sarate Matanti Idwana Nika Wiwidani Jubadawani Mokan Sukan Adigameya Narosa Benyo Sadhu 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 Valentine.
Program number 2.
Now we'll move on to Program 2. Answer the questions from Buddhism for Kids by Rebecca and Cynthia.
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Rebecca, and my Buddhist name is Metta Bali, which means keeper of loving kindness. For today's program, my sister Cynthia will be joining me. So, Cynthia, can you please introduce yourself? Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Cynthia, and my Buddhist name is Magha Bali, which means keeper of the middle path. And the individuals that I'm asking today are Dewa, William, Emerald, Wei-Yan, Noel, May Cindy, Julia, Danson, Martin, Miano, Lin Lin, Hazel, Santa Wei, and Meta U. We'll be asking questions from Buddhism for Kids, so please have your book ready. Dewa, what did the Buddha realize?
He realized that wealth and fancy things didn't bring lasting happiness.
That is correct, thank you. William, what does taking refuge in the Buddha mean?
It means you trust and follow his teachings.
That is correct, thank you. Emerald, why do we take refuge in the Buddha?
Because he showed us the path to end suffering and live a good life.
That is correct, thank you. Wei Yan, what did the Buddha teach us?
To be kind, honest, and not have living being.
That is correct, thank you. Noel, what does taking refuge mean?
It means we trust the Buddha and follow his example.
That is correct, thank you. May Cindy, what did the Buddha realize? The answer is he realized that wealth and fancy things didn't bring lasting happiness. Julia, what does taking refuge in the Buddha mean?
It means you take trust and follow his teachings.
That is correct, thank you. Tenzin, why do we take refuge in the Buddha?
Because he showed us the path to end suffering and live a good life.
That is correct. Martin, what did the Buddha teach us?
To be kind, honest, and not harm living beings.
That is correct. Miano, what does taking refuge mean?
It means we trust the Buddha and follow his example.
That is correct. Lin Lin, what did the Buddha realize?
He realized that wealth and fancy things didn't bring lasting happiness.
That is correct. Hazel, what does taking refuge in the Buddha mean?
Could you repeat the question?
What does taking refuge in the Buddha mean?
It means you trust and follow his teachings.
That's correct. Santa, wait, why do we take refuge? Why do we take refuge in the Buddha?
We take refuge in the Buddha because he showed us the path to end suffering and live a good life.
That is correct. Metta U, what did the Buddha teach us?
Could you repeat that question, please?
What did the Buddha teach us? Well, the answer is to be kind, honest, and not harm living beings. That is all for our program. Thank you for listening and participating.
Now we'll move on to Program 3. Presentations on Buddhism by Ninyetan, Miano, Dewa Kune, and Maten, then by May Cindy, Lasanda, and Julia, then by Suizin, Danzin, Anglin Tay, and Victoria. Lastly, by Linlin, Xingqi, Qixing, and Xinglang.
Hello, Mingalaba Dhamma class. My name is Narintha, and my Buddhist name is Yoga Bali, which means keeper of energy. Today, three dear Dhamma friends will be joining me today. So, Mya, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Minglava. My name is Nyano and my Buddhist name is Mama Bali, which means keepers of energy. And I live in Phoenix, Arizona. So Dewa Koen, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Dewakan A, and my Buddhist name is Kemabala, which means power of enlightenment, and I live in Oak Hills, California. So, Matben, can you please introduce yourself and where you currently live in?
Hello, Mangalaba. My name is Mate and Buddhist name is Hita Bali, which means good keeper, and I live in Texas. So, Nia, what are we going to talk about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about taking refuge in the Buddha. So before I begin, can everyone please listen carefully as we'll be asking questions at the end. Why do we take refuge in the Buddha? Taking refuge in the Buddha is an important concept in Buddhism. We take refuge in the Buddha because he was a special person who discovered something very important about life.
Even though he has a comfortable life, the Buddha realized that having lots of money and fancy things doesn't bring true and lasting happiness. So he left his palace and went on a journey to understand the meaning of life.
On his journey, he discovered a special way to end suffering and find real peace and happiness. By following this path, he became enlightened. This path is called the Majjhima Padipada, which means the middle path.
When we take refuge in the Buddha, it means we trust and follow his teachings. We believe that he showed us the path to a better life. The Buddha taught us about things like being kind to others, being honest, and not causing harms to living beings. He taught us to have compassion and to be mindful of our thoughts and actions.
Taking refuge in the Buddha also means that we look up to him as a guide and a role model. We try to follow his example and learn from his wisdom. By doing this, we can become better people and find happiness in our lives.
So in simple words, we take refuge in the Buddha because he discovered a way to be truly happy and peaceful. We trust and follow his teachings to live a good life and make the world a better place. So Dewa Koen, what is the fifth question?
All right, so now we'll be asking questions. So my first question goes to Hazel, and it is, what did the Buddha realize?
He realized that wealth and fancy things didn't bring lasting happiness.
Yes, that is correct, Hazel. Thank you. Muthin, can you ask the second question, please?
So my first question goes to YN. So YN, what does taking refuge in the Buddha mean?
It's me, you trust and follow his teachings.
That is correct. So Nia, then, please ask your first question.
My question is to Hazel. So Hazel, why do we take refuge in the Buddha?
Because he showed us the path to end suffering and live a good life.
That is correct, thank you. Nyatno, can you please ask your next question?
My first question is to Wei. So Wei, what did the Buddha teach us? To be kind, honest, and not hurt living beings. That is correct. So Dewa Koen, can you please ask the final question?
Okay, so the final question goes to Hazel again, and it is, what does taking refuge mean?
It means we trust the Buddha and follow his example.
Yes, that is correct, Hazel. Thank you. Thank you for watching, listening, and participating, everyone.
Thank you for watching and listening.
Thank you everyone for participating.
It is now May City, Lasanda, and Julia's turn.
Hello, Mangalaba. My name is Masondy. My Buddha name is Lokapali, which means guardian of the world, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. So today, my two dear Dhamma friends will be joining me. So Lasana, please introduce yourself.
Hello, Minglaba. My name is Lacinda, and my Buddhist name is Chandra Pali, which means keep on being smart. And I live in Jacksonville, Florida. So Julia, please introduce yourself.
Hello, Minglaba. My name is Julia. My Buddhist name is Bera Bali, which means keep for wisdom, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. So Masondy, can you please, what we'll be talking about today?
Today, we'll be talking about why we take refuge in the Dhamma. So I'll be going first. Please listen carefully because we'll be asking some questions at the end. Why do we take refuge in the Dhamma? Life's like a big adventure with happy times and hard times. When we feel confused or sad, we need something to help us.
The Dhamma is like a compass. It shows us the right way. It teaches us to be kind, honest, patient, and caring.
Taking refuge in the Dhamma means we follow these wise teachings. It's like having a special shield that helps us make good choices. When we follow the Dhamma, we feel calm, strong, and happy inside.
The Dhamma is like a good friend and teacher who always helps us. It guides us to live a peaceful and meaningful life. So now we'll be asking questions. So Lasana, please ask your first question.
So my first question is to Rebecca. So Rebecca, what is the Dhamma?
The Dhamma is the Buddha's wise teachings that helps us live kindly and wisely.
That's correct.
The next question is to Cynthia. So Cynthia, why do we take refuge in the Dhamma?
Because it shows us the right way like a compass.
Yes, that is correct. So Masondy, can you please ask the next question?
So my next question is to Hema. So Hema, how does the Dhamma help us? The answer is, it helps us make good choices and feel calm and strong inside. So Lasana, please ask your last question.
So my last question is to Rebecca. So Rebecca, what happens when we follow the Dhamma?
We live a peaceful and happy life.
That's correct.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching and listening.
Thank you for listening.
It is now Suizin, Danzin, Anglinte, and Victoria's turn.
Hello to my class, my name is Suizin, and my Buddhist name is Wansa Bali, which means keeper relatives. Joining me today is my dear brother Denson and my dear Dhamma friend Alminte. So Denson, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Zin, and my Buddhist name is Sate Pala, which means the power of courage. So, Alantane, what are we going to be sharing today?
Hi, my name is Ante, and my Buddhist name is Ria Bala, which means brave fever, and Swiss and what we'll be talking about today.
We are going to be talking about taking refuge in the Sangha. Everyone, please listen carefully because in the end, we'll be asking questions. Taking refuge in the Sangha is a beautiful and important practice in Buddhism. Imagine you're on a journey and you need some good friends to help and support you along the way. That's what the Sangha is like.
The Sangha is a special group of monks who follow the teachings of Buddha, try to live a good life, good and peaceful life. They are like a big family of Buddhists who learn on their spiritual path. Here are 3 simple reasons why we take refuge in the Sangha.
1. When we take refuge in the Sangha, we find friends who have similar goals and values as ours. They encourage us to be kind, patient, and wise. Just like good friends at school or home, the Sangha supports us when we face difficulties and cheers for us when we do well.
2. The Sangha is like a school where we learn more about Buddhism and how to be better people. We listen to the wise teachings of the Buddha and we also learn the experiences of the Sangha. Together we grow and become better versions of ourselves.
3. In the Sangha, we practice being good, being calm, and being wise. Banya. If someone feels sad or needs help, the Sangha is there to listen and give spiritually support. We take care of each other.
So just like how we rely on friends and family when we need help, We take refuge in the Sangha to find support, learn, and grow, and to be part of a caring community that guides us on our journey towards peace and happiness. And then ask your first question.
My first question is to Shinten, and it is, who is the Sangha?
A group of monks teaching and living peacefully.
That is correct. So, Alinte, can you please ask your question?
My question is to Noah, and Noah, why do we take refuge in the Sangha?
Find good friends to help us on the path.
That is correct. And then ask your first question.
My first question is to Shinta, and it is, what do we learn from the Sangha?
Kindness, patience, and Buddha's teachings.
That's correct. So Susan, ask your last question.
My last question is to Noel, and it is, how does the Sangha help us?
They support us, teach us, and care for us.
That is correct. That is all, and thank you for listening.
Now it is Lin Lin, Xing Qi, Qi Xing, and Xing Lang's turn.
Hello, my class. My name is Lin Lin, and my Buddhist name is Manopali, which means keeper of minds. Joining me today are my dear Dhamma friends Shinki, Qixing, and Xing Lang. So, Shinki, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Mingalaba. My name is Shinki. My Buddhist name is Eka Bala, which means the power of energy. So, Kishin, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Mingalava. My name is Keishing, and my Buddhist name is Sotat Balat, which means the power of light. So, Xinglang, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Mingalaba. My name is Shinki Ling, and my Buddhist name is Rira Bali, which means brave keeper, and I live in Colorado. So, Lin Lin, what will we be talking about today?
Today we'll be talking about Gamma. So, what is Gamma? Gamma, or Gan in Burmese, means action done with intention. It follows the law of Gamma, which is the idea that every action has a result.
Our actions fall into three categories: thoughts, mental actions, speech, what we say, and body, what we do. For an action to be considered karma, it must be done with intention. Karma can be either wholesome, good, or unwholesome, bad.
Gamat doesn't mean our future is fixed. The past affects the present, but we can still change our future. The results of our actions are called vipaka, consequences, or balat, fruits.
In simple terms, good actions lead to good results, while bad actions lead to bad results. This helps explain why things happen differently for everyone. So, Lin Lin, can you please start off with the questions?
So, my question is to Tiffany, and it is, what is Gamma?
Karma means actions done with intention. It teaches that every action has a result.
That is correct. So, Shinki, can you please ask your question?
Meitun, what are the three types of actions in karma?
The three types of actions are thoughts, what we think, speech, what we say, and body, what we do.
That is correct. So, Kishin, can you please ask your question?
Tiffany, can Gamat change our future?
Yes, even though the past affects us, we can still change our future by choosing good actions.
That's correct. So, Xinglang, can you ask the next question?
So, my question is to Meitun. So, Meitun, what happens when we do good or bad actions?
Good actions lead to good results, and bad actions lead to bad results.
That is correct. That is all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for watching.
Now we'll move on to Program 4. Answer the questions from Bali Pathways by Hank and Hema.
Hi, my name is Hema. My Buddhist name is Hema Bali, which means peacekeeper. Today I'll be joined by my twin brother, so can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Hank, and my Buddhist name is Sutta Bala, which means the power of knowledge.
Today I'll be asking the following people some questions. Thane, Xinglen, Niemonte, Shinki, Sandy, Henry, Linten, Kamapali, Victoria, Allington, Shinki, Benji, Snowy, and Hangman. So to start off, Thing, what is Kamma?
Dhamma means action done with intention. It teaches us that every action has a result.
That is correct. Xinglen, what are the 3 types of actions in Kamma?
The 3 types of actions are thoughts, what we think, speech, what we say, and body, what we do.
That is correct. Yimbo Tep, can Kamma change our future?
Can you repeat that?
Can Kamma change our future?
Yes, even though the past affects us, we can still change our future by choosing good actions.
That is correct. Shinki, what happens when we do good or bad actions?
Good actions lead to good results. Bad actions lead to bad results.
That is correct. Sandy, what does Kaya Kama mean?
Kaya Kama means bodily actions, which are actions we do using our body.
That is correct. Henry, what is Kama?
Karma means actions done with intentions. It teaches that every action has a result.
That is correct. Then, what are the 3 types of actions in Kama?
The 3 types of actions are thoughts, what we think, speech, what we say, and body, what we do.
That is correct.
Kama Pali, can Kama change our future?
Yes, even though the past affects us, we can still change our future by choosing good actions.
And that is correct. Victoria, what happens when we do good or bad actions?
Absent.
Well, the correct answer is good actions lead to good results and bad actions lead to bad results. Onlinte, what does Kaya Kama mean? Well, the correct answer is Kaya Kama means bodily actions, which are actions we do using our body. Kishin, what is Kama?
Dhamma means actions done with intention. It teaches that every action has a result.
And that is correct. Benji, what are the 3 types of actions in Kama?
Absent.
Well, the correct answer is the 3 types of actions are thoughts, what we think, speech, what we say, and body, what we do. Snowy, can Kama change our future?
Yes, even though the past affects us, we can still change our future by choosing good actions.
And that is correct. Min, what happens when we do good or bad actions?
Good actions lead to good results, and bad actions lead to bad results.
And that is correct. Thank you for listening.
Now we'll move on to Program 5. Read the answers for the given questions by Suizan and Sumya Pei.
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Soizan, and my Buddhist name is Wansat Bali, which means keep your relatives. Joining me today is my dear Dhamma friend Sumya Pei. So, Sumya Pei, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Sumya Pei. My Buddhist name is Chitta Bali, which means regarder of mind. So, Susan, you go first.
Onlinte, who is the Sangha?
A group of monks teaching and living peacefully.
That is correct. Kama Bali, why do we take refuge in the Sangha?
Can you repeat it?
Why do we take refuge in the Sangha?
To find good friends who help us on the path.
That is correct. William, what do we learn from the Sangha?
Kindness, patience, and the Buddha's teachings.
That is correct. Henry, how does the Sangha help us?
They support us, teach us, and care for us.
That is correct. Kishing, how many books are in the Tipitaka?
There are 40 books.
That is correct. Sandy, who is the Sangha?
A group of monks teaching and living peacefully.
That's correct. And Hangman, why do we take refuge in the Sangha?
To find good friends who help us on the path.
That is correct. So, Sumyepe, can you please ask your questions?
So, Nyambong Tent, what do we learn from the Sangha?
Kindness, patience, and Buddha's teaching.
That is correct, thank you. So, Zanta Wei, how does the Sangha help us?
They support us, teach us, and care for us.
That's correct, thank you. My next question is to Lintan. How does the how many books are in the Tipitaka?
There are 40 books.
That is correct, thank you. Snowy, who is in the Sangha?
A group of monks teaching and living peacefully.
That is correct, thank you. Meta U, why do we take refuge in the Sangha?
To find good friends who help us on the path.
That is correct, thank you. Myo, what do we learn from the Sangha?
Kindness, patience, and Buddha's teachings.
That is correct, thank you. My last question is to Emerald. How does the Sangha help us?
They support us, teach us, and care for us.
That is all for today. Thank you. Thank you everyone for participating.
Thank you to everyone who joined today. We are near the end of our Dhamma class, so please put your hands together, mute your microphones, and repeat after me. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu. May the Buddha's teachings last long. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu. May the Buddha's teachings last long. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu. May the Buddha's teachings last long. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.